Good morning, welcome back. If you are new, I am Stephanie. I like to make videos reflecting on media culture and everyday life. And this video, I'm gonna go through my morning routine a little bit and talk about morning routines. Goodness, how do people film first thing in the morning? My eyes are puffy. I want to talk about morning routines because I want to look at them as a media artifact, and I love watching a morning routine, don't get me wrong. I love watching them, and clearly I'm kind of making one, but I want to talk about how, oh god, how do people film? Let's make coffee first. We can look at morning routine videos from two ways. We can look at it as a way of romanticizing everyday life, and then we can also look at it as a kind of recipe for how to make it in capitalism. We love Society of the Spectacle Guy Debord on this channel, so I'm going to refer to him a lot, but I want to talk about how, like, the recipe part real quick, and I hope you can hear me over this coffee. Actually, let's move. It's so nice out today. Grammy, are there any birds out there? Okay, this is better. Maybe the wind chimes, even if you can hear them, they are lovelier than the coffee machine. But I want to talk about how this one quote fits perfectly. So we love Guy Debord, we love Society of Spectacle on this channel, and his 60th thesis says, "The celebrity, the spectacular representation of a living human being, embodies this banality by embodying the image of a possible role. By being a star means specializing in the seemingly lived. The star is the object of identification with the shallow seeming life that has to compensate for the fragmented productive specializations which are actually lived. Celebrities exist to act out various styles of living and viewing society. But just as the activities of the star are not really global, they are not really varied." So I'm gonna talk about how New York City influencers and tech CEOs and like Fortune 500 CEOs, they're all kind of the same. They have this seemingly varied life, but they all kind of made it in capitalism, and their morning routines is like a, oh, like, if you do this, you too can live like me kind of situation. However, their success doesn't really come from waking up at 5 a.m. It comes from the systemic structures that are set in place to make people like them succeed. These morning routines, these are not videos showing their path to success. This is the product of their success. But we are to treat it as their path to success so we can do the same. I have my coffee. The lighting's a little crazy, but I kind of dig it because you can see the shadows of the wind chimes right there. But I want to talk about the romanticization part of morning routine videos. So I get that a lot of people like to film their morning routine videos as a way to romanticize everyday life. It's also some time for people to take the moments to themselves that aren't directly tied to work. We can all like get on our phones, on TikTok, on YouTube, and kind of come together and bond over this like romanticization of our everyday life. But again, I'm bringing in Society of the Spectacle. He talks about how with the spectacle, there is this happy unification surrounded by desolation and fear at the tranquil center of misery. And he also talks about how like the spectacle brings people together as separate. So we can all come together on this app and romanticize our everyday life, but we are all still in our separate lives, going about our everyday lives. This romanticization of everyday life also brings commodification of everyday life. So how much can you really show in short form content? So that commodification is twofold. One, you have the products that people are showing. So when they are going about their morning routine, this used to be like 5-minute journals, the Summer Fridays lip balm, the Stanley cup, what kind of coffee they're drinking, etc. But then your 4-second clip, that itself, that image is a commodity as well. I'm sitting here critiquing them, but I also do like watching them because it is calming. These videos are really calming, and I do love seeing the everyday life of somebody else. I think it's a perfect artifact for that. But when somebody is going about capturing their everyday life, I wonder like, what are they using to represent their morning routine?
the part of the video where people will do a get ready with me, but I am not going to do that because one, I already put all my makeup on and I got ready for the day, but because that is not the point of this video. So I want to take a sec to talk about that get ready with me aspect. This has been a YouTube staple since the beginning, like doing makeup together, teaching us what to buy. And I think this just really gets at how these celebrified people in everyday life who got turned into celebrities through this mediaification of their everyday life, they are teaching us how to consume. They're teaching us how to use the products. There are so many products out there that people didn't buy until they saw it in a video. They're teaching us how to use bronzer. They're teaching us how to do eyeliner. And I think also looking at it in terms of like times in society and culture is interesting too, because obviously the way that we did makeup in 2016 is so different from the makeup that we're doing now. And I think it's just an interesting way to look at morning routine videos and get ready with me as an artifact of everyday life and how we're engaging with makeup and all of that. When we are watching or listening to or reading about someone's morning routine, we have to think about what they're not showing us. So even if the word realistic is in the title, what are they deciding to not film? What are they deciding to edit out? What are they deciding to not include? Morning routines are a part of everybody's everyday life, either in like living one or consuming them or whatever. But looking at them as like a media artifact, looking at it as a media example, we can see how people act out various styles of living, engage with consumer culture, and we can really look at this commodification of everyday life.